What up, guys? It's your boy Kevin Yee, the Farm D, aka Kevin the Refugee. Welcome to my Sunday stream. One of the topics I'm going to be talking about is if you ever feel like you're not good enough. Stay tuned, guys. What up, guys? Like I said, it is my Sunday stream, so every single Sunday I invite you guys to come into my chat and just talk to me. If you can't tell, I'm looking a little pudgy because I just ate some dinner with my family and stuff. Looks like my computer is like literally tripping out. I see all these flashing things on my computer, but oh my god, my thumbnail. Shit. So, hold on, let me put on some music. What up, Muddy? What up, Seton? My regulars in the chat. Thank you guys for joining. I was going to do a prayer sign, but I have hot tea in my in my hand. Gotta start this bitch up. No, didn't upload my new thumbnail. I'll just change it later. But anyways, guys, yeah, man. So while people are joining, I guess hold on for a second. Tell me if the sound is good and all that. Lower this. Legend RX is in this bitch. Thanks. Yes, I got all my regulars today. Let me just open up my chat so I can see you guys. Awesome, guys. Okay, so I'm pretty much all set up. Yeah, man. So it's pretty crazy. This week has been kind of an off week for me. I didn't get as much done, honestly. Again, it's like I don't know, man. It's a little bit of burnout. It's a little bit of being at home still. So for y'all that don't know, this is my last week here. So I can't wait to. Sorry, missing for so many streams Sunday and 10-minute coffee. Sound is good. Thanks, Madit. Yeah, man. It's been kind of hard, dude. I feel like I've been really frustrated back home. I feel like I just don't have full autonomy of my schedule. Like, there's always these family events and stuff, and it's just like I don't know, man. It gets really distracting. And it's probably my fault for not saying no enough. But yeah, man, it's tough. Like all these events are happening this week because it's my last week here. But I'm still trying to get my launch up. You know, like literally on my course, I barely worked on it this week. I just felt like I was playing catch up with YouTube and stuff, so I was just like, fuck it, just throw it on a back burner for a little bit. Just do some more live streams, just to not make up for it, but just to get a little bit of like a little bit going. Sutton says, "Are you still doing morning streams?" I haven't this week because honestly, I didn't want to saturate my whole YouTube channel full of like Monday morning streams and stuff. I don't know if you guys like it. I'll keep on doing it. Maybe, like I said, I might do it on my Instagram or something like that. But it was just an idea I was playing with. But yeah, I think once I go back to LA, things will be a lot easier for me because like I don't know. There's something about living at home and living by yourself that I really like. Like don't get me wrong, I'm an extrovert. I love chilling with people, but sometimes like if you don't like, I'm not sure if you can tell, but I'm in my brother's room. Like back in the day, it's hella small. I get woken. Like there's so many things. My mom is always asking me stuff, always talking to me, and I just can't deal with it, man. I think it's like one of those things where when as you grow up, you definitely can't like as you grow up you just realize like there's certain things like about moms and stuff. Don't get me wrong, I love that woman to death. She would give anything for me, but at the same time it's just like, dude, I need I need my own space, and I don't think parents, especially Asian parents, understand the need for space and stuff. So yeah, man, that's been happening. Also, like I've been having a lot of thoughts recently about not being good enough at stuff. I'm not sure if you guys have ever. I talked a little bit about it yesterday, but I think I don't know if like people like if a lot of people go through this, but I definitely do. It's when you I don't know, like like literally every 3 days I'll have these thoughts of like, oh, I'm not good enough to get a launch, I'm not good enough to teach people certain things. I just have these self-doubts, and it's been really paralyzing. I haven't been reaching out to people as much as I should be. And yeah, man, I just get caught in a funk. And what I try to do is just get up and out of the house and just try keep on pushing through for a little bit. But it's really, I don't know, sometimes it's really debilitating. And the only other feeling I could ever describe it close to is actually pharmacy school. Back when I was doing pharmacy school, um, back when I was doing pharmacy school, like back when I was doing pharmacy school, like I would have these moments where I would just doubt like whether I was gonna make it or not, whether I was gonna make it through or any of that sort of stuff. So it was really tough at the time, you know. But yeah, man. For the most part, everything's like getting better for, and I feel like going back to California is really healthy for me too, also mentally, because one, I can start if I need to, I can start looking for jobs immediately. I don't have to worry about flying back and forth and stuff. Um, I just I just can focus on myself. It's kind of like being like in have you if you ever watched Dragon Ball Z? I know y'all have watched Dragon Ball Z at one point, but it's like when Vegeta or like Gohan and Goku go into hyperbolic time chamber and they just like get the workouts done. Um, for me, I just want to go back to LA so I can control my diet, so I can take control of my gym, so I can do all this shit that I want to and not live by like my mom hassling me or people hassling me. I know they care and stuff, but at the same time, like my needs need to get done too. So it's something that I struggle with, and it's something I remember now why I moved out of my house, why I wanted to leave Boston so bad. Sometimes it's kind of funny because you just realize certain patterns that are so unhealthy here. And I noticed like being back at home, like with my mom, it's good, but being too comfortable is very dangerous because I just feel like it's kind of a slippery slope. Once you get too comfortable, then you're like, oh, I could just chill at home, not work and shit. I'm just like, fuck that. Um, yeah, man. But I don't think that's my characteristic, like the type of person I am. But yeah, man, I've been just trying to figure out different ways to like slip out of this funk. Like it's really hard sometimes. Like, um, what did I do like on Friday and stuff? I can't remember, but I've just literally just been watching different videos and just like sleeping a lot more and just like giving back to myself and making sure my cup is full. I've been meditating a lot too. I've been trying to hit the gym up too, but I miss that jujitsu. I miss all that sort of stuff that I used to do. And like when I come back here, it's just like not the same, you know? I don't get that daily 4 times a week jujitsu sessions that I used to do. And I don't get to do like Muay Thai or go on hikes and like control, like cook for myself or go in and out. I miss that shit. And I don't know, man. You can't. It's hard. You can't go back from an adult to a child anymore. It doesn't work out like that, man. DBZ for life, says Madit. Good analogy. Self doubt is definitely tough and paralyzing, but I believe in you, bro. I know you can break free from it. Must channel my inner Vegeta. Hey, Kevin, it's all about motivation. Motivation can only take you so far. The problem with like motivation stuff, because what I don't like about motivation or purely focusing on motivation is that it's not a sustainable system. Yes, it's good for breaking you out when you're in a dip, but on a consistent basis, if you are constantly burning out and stuff, it's more about energy management, you know, and setting like, am I setting proper boundaries? And I think when I'm back home, I don't set proper boundaries because it feels like maybe it's not all my mom, but it just feels like um, like every event that I do is a special event. And when every event feels like a special event, then I don't know, man. It's just like it's harder to say no to things, you know? And I think that's something I need to take more responsibility and improve on. Is just having the willpower to say no more often, you know? Um, that's why it was such a huge decision for me to do a launch first, and then for work on my business, and then what's that called? Focus on my business, and then look for work, you know, if I have to. But man, it's been pretty crazy. I think one great thing about not working right now is like it helps me be so much more creative. I'm actually working on, since you guys said clothing last week, I've been talking to someone who I was trying to maybe launch something on Teespring or something like that. But yeah, start anything for 5 minutes, and usually you can build up the motivation to complete a lot or finish. I think that's a very valid point because definitely for me the other day, I was just like, just get my ass to a coffee shop and just start working. And for me, coffee shops, they set a very, when I go into a coffee shop, it's either for two things. I'm either talking to someone in a really relaxed state, or it primes me for working. You know, it's something about that smell of coffee. And I think that's why you're right, Rocket. Like I always try to start off with something easy. So a very low barrier entry, high success rate is something like I don't know, completing my schedule. You know, planning out the what success looks like in a day, and making that very obtainable. You know, setting routines every day is also very important. I've been trying to follow Maitland Darius's depression one, where you like work for 3 hours, work out, then you work for another 3 hours to 4 hours, then you have the night to yourself, which you know has been really good to me. But I don't know what happened. Like I feel like I get early morning insomnia, and it really fucks it up sometimes. And like I don't know if you ever had early morning insomnia, but it sucks. Like you literally wake up at 3 a.m. and then you're just like, fuck, what do I do? And you just can't go back to sleep. And when you finally do go to sleep, you wake up at like 10 or 11, and half the day is wasted at that point, you know? David So on JKN off the motivation, off the record, motivation versus determination. I didn't watch that off the record episode for JK, but yeah. Um, I also, per recommendation of someone, it was so funny. Like last week, you guys were talking about um, David Goggins, the Navy SEAL guy who really, who really, who was raising money for like a charity and stuff by doing ultra marathons. Didn't train for it. I saw him on Joe Rogan, and I was just watching his episode, and I was just like, damn, this fool is so motivating, you know. And it's just like how this kid, he came up, just like just we don't really exactly have the same past, but we both had dads who didn't really support us in the beginning, you know. And seeing him come up and really take recognition that he was running away from a lot of things in life, and instead of stopping and just saying I'm not good enough, he started asking better questions like, how can I get better? How can I be how can I get good enough, you know? Just curious, guys, whoever is here, let me know, who do you find motivating in your life too, or who else do you watch that you find very motivating? Chances are I watch them too, but that'd be really cool just to see some of the people that you're I guess inspired by, you know, because I think like I look at my bookcase and I look at the people around me, I look at the YouTube channels I watch. A lot of them are very motivating as well, you know. So yeah, Rocket says, yeah, it helps me a lot. Learn the mantra from my business ethics professor. Yeah, man. And no, another thing that I miss from back home, another thing that I really, really miss a lot is actually my bookcase. I miss my bookcase because I just look at it and I can just like read a book like and try to get back in the grind of things. I like here. Well, I packed most of my books already, but yeah, man, like I've been packing everything and um, yeah, I just miss my books. I miss being in a hustle environment. I miss talking to a lot of my friends at night. I miss like so much back in California that I just don't have here. And maybe that's a sign that maybe I started a new life in California. I didn't even realize it. You know. Not really any other channels other than yours. Broke the Habit and JK Crew. Broke the Habit. You know what's interesting? A lot of my friends are actually going through the same shit. I'm not like Peter's one of them. He's going through the same shit. Um, I feel like all my friends who are in the hustle mode or like not JK big, but like people like me, we're just like struggling so much all together, and we have this like I don't know sort of self doubt before we even launch anything and whatnot. It's funny, like I just think it's a lot harder, and um, you really need good people in your life to just keep you motivated. Like today, I met with my PA friend. Her name's Anna. She's a really beautiful girl, but she's also like we're very similar, where we just really we love talking to people. We love connecting with people, and I was just telling her I've been so down recently, and I don't know if it's my dad. I don't know if it's being home with my mom. I don't know what it is, but I don't feel like myself anymore. And when I'm in like a downward spiral, I just feel like I'm fraudulent. I'm fake. But I've been very transparent, like on YouTube and stuff. But I just feel like, how am I supposed to lead? How am I supposed to lead others when I just feel like a complete failure? You know. And then she came up to me and she's like, "Dude, Kevin, out of all my friends, like, I think out of all my friends, um, I just think you're very brave to go on this journey, and you've been wanting to do this forever. And out of all my friends, I like there's no way that you'll fail because every single time you keep on coming back more and more and more and try to learn more and more and more. You know, it was just like really reassuring because it's one of those friends where I haven't spent that much time with them, but when you meet up with them, you just instantly click. I mean, it's like one of those friends that you just get it. I think I've only met Anna like maybe 4 times, right? 4 times in my life. Uh, but maybe a little bit more. I'll give it 10 times throughout the last 10 years. I've known her. And she like we just understand each other so well, and hearing that from her actually reassured me a lot. And today I didn't do shit other than celebrate my mom's birthday just now at the birthday dinner. I also chilled with my friend Anita and saw her children, talked a lot about parenting and stuff and what's like being a parent, which is scary as fuck. Also, yeah, and I met up my friend Anna last minute, and it was just really cool to just give back to myself for a little bit. Um, I just feel like I need another escape, man. Um, I just need to escape from everything, you know. So yeah, Sutton is the mother loyal, says Legend RX. My main motivators are The Rock and Kevin Hart. They're known to have extremely good work ethic at what they do and have fun at the same time. I think there's a really good like lessons that we can learn from them too. I really like The Rock and Kevin Hart as well. Um, and I was thinking about like doing some fun series on my channel too, not only skits and stuff, but also maybe do like Groupon adventures or some shit like that. Where I just go explore the silly city of LA and just like do different adventures and do spontaneous things. I thought that'd be really cool. You know. Get at her? I wish, man. She's like pretty as fuck, but the reason why I can't get at her is because she has a boyfriend and she's probably gonna get engaged soon. But I imagine my partner and stuff, like whoever I have in the future, like to be like that, when I'm feeling down, like to really pick me up when I'm at my lowest. I think I need that in my life because I don't know, maybe it's an Asian thing. Like I don't know if you guys ever go through this as well. Let me ask you guys, do you ever go through this like where you feel like you feel that you're really hard on yourself, that you when you feel like you're not good enough? It it's I don't know, it might be a very Asian thing. Um, Maybe I'm like my own Asian dad in some way where I just feel like no matter what I do, it's never enough. And maybe it's gotten me to this level of success right now, but I don't think this habit is very healthy and it's very energy consuming. Happy birthday, says Malik. Yeah, I really like the How We Met. Speaking of books, do you have Audible? I listen to Millionaire Success Habits by Dean Grazowski. Grazowski gave me a lot of motivation, even though I didn't jump into his other programs. No, I haven't, but I think I saw it on my Amazon cart. But one day I'll show you my full bookcase of like all my books. And I'm probably going to get rid of a lot of my books too, because I've actually been watching a lot of minimalist channels as well. Um, I don't know. There's something about minimalism that really draws me recently. Um, I don't know. His name is Matt Davala or whatever. If you type in minimalism, he did the minimalist like Netflix series and all that. And I just been watching a lot of old videos like from Malin Doris about the condo, uh, what Marie Kondo method or whatever, where you look at your clothing. Not to say I have a lot of clothing, but I think it's time to just really empty out a lot of shit, start donating stuff, start doing giveaways, just with stuff that I don't essentially need. And I think sometimes like people are right. It's so easy to just accept things into our life and say yes to so many things, right? Like maybe if you get like not a raise, but like a promotion at work, how hard is that to say no? And I think sometimes it's a lot harder to say no to things than it's harder to it's easier to say yes to things than it is to say no to things. And I think for me, that's a habit I'm trying to get used to, being like okay with less. And not to say not to be motivated, but to learn how to sometimes you just accumulate extra shit that you just don't need, man. You keep on talking about what kind of girl you want. Why don't you date around instead of sticking to one? That's a good point. But like any other, like for me, I don't think dating is really my priority right now either. Like I'm not actively looking for a girl right now, just because I don't think like okay, so I'm not looking to just fuck around and shit. That's just not me. But the second thing is like I don't feel like a true man until I have everything that I want like in place. Like number one thing is my business. That's my baby. That's what I want before I even have kids or anything like that. So like it's just not a priority because any relationship you get into, anything like that, it's gonna take work, right? And I want like I'm just not ready for it. I think it's normal to not feel satisfied no mays what you do, says Sutton. I just think of it as something in my head that pushes me to do more. Yeah, I think in some ways like it does push like the most motivated people I know or the most successful people I know aren't satisfied with a lot of things. Like I think Matt, he's not really satisfied with like Engineer Truth. He's not very satisfied with things. Like with um, Joe, he always he's always never satisfied, and he wants to grow and grow and grow more. And our society really emphasizes like the hustle mentality and stuff. But I think there's it's like a push pull type of thing, and I think there's like this overemphasis on just like having more, having more, having more, rather than enjoying what we have, you know. But I think there's a healthy balance, you know. And for people like me, I'm definitely like I want to say 95.5%, you know. And I try to do daily gratitudes and stuff, and I am very grateful for a lot of my friends and a lot of things I have. I mean, I'm not in Africa. I'm not starving. I don't have to worry about getting raped. I don't have to worry about a lot of damn things in life, and I'm very grateful for that, you know. But at the same time, like I just feel like there's so much more to life, you know. But when I think about all the things I want, it's just like it gets very overwhelming, and I try to tackle it one step at a time, where I just, you know, like I write down like what do I want and what how am I striving toward it, and like kind of venting it all out. So that's why I do my daily morning pages, to just get my mind straight sometimes, you know, um, to kind of like prime myself for like success and shit. Have you read 12 Rules for Life? I have not. That's by that Jordan Peterson guy, who I watched his podcast, and I heard it's a great book actually. But yeah, at Sutton, agree. Nice look on RH. Oh, thank you, man. Shameless plug. For Refugee Hustle, I actually redid my website. I'm still in the middle of organizing everything, but yeah, man, I'm just trying to switch everything up, trying to redo my email series when people sign up, doing a lot of different things on my blog. Um, you know, I really want to take this seriously, and I'm not gonna lie, it was really hard to like. I'm not a website guy, but I had to like learn how to SSL like encrypt and try like like if you type www.refugeehustle.com, it would not. It would take you to an insecure site, and so I had to learn how to secure it and do all this other shit, and one step at a time. You know, I spent actually that's what I spent most of my Friday doing, working on my website. You know, and I think like I took screenshots before and after, and honestly, um, when I it was like really crazy. Like uh, it looks so ghetto before, you know, but I think like as long as you keep on trying and trying to improve better by better each day, you'll get to where you are. I mean, it's a lot of life. What it is just taking enough swings, you know. I think that's one of the things that always keeps me going too. It's just because I know like if I take enough swings, I'll get to my destination, you know, or die trying. Yeah. So, have you ever looked into small volunteer projects? Might sound slightly selfish, but those type of projects made me feel tons better. I used to volunteer for a lot of pharmacy type of organizations. I haven't volunteered recently at all, but I believe giving back is very important. And one of the ways I do give back too is like through my kung fu school. You know, like I volunteer, do the lion dance and stuff like that. That's been really cool for me and kind of refreshing for me. You know, as well. Do you still work as a pharmacist? Right now, I do not. I'm actually still working on my business and I'm unemployed. Daniel Lau says, "Hi Kevin, keep it up. We need people that can polarize the pharmacy profession like you." Thanks, man. I actually have I need to edit a few videos, which I'll probably do tomorrow. But I actually talk about a really important subject where um, kind of like the culture that pharmacy is promoting and stuff. It's not controversial, but I think it's very important to just like really talk about things like in a real manner to promote conversation, not to blame people and shit, you know. But I think it's really like I was researching medication errors, right? And there's over apparently we spend over $70 billion per year on that's what medication errors cost us per year, and then there's like 7,000 deaths or something like that, and it's just like I can't help but think like like, with businesses and stuff, like cutting hours is a common practice, and how much does that really affect our patients' well-being? And at what point does that really at what point does that, like, what's the balance? I understand you gotta keep the lights on, you have to profit something, right? From a business point of view. But at the same time, like with our patients and stuff, like at what point do we draw the line and go like, no, it's like this is enough. We have to stand up for our patients. It's a really fine line, and I don't know what that line is, but I think it's important to start having a discussion about that. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of lobbyists too. What's your business? I'm new. So for y'all that don't know, I've been working on an investing course for quite a while now, but it just basically teaches how to invest, everything from like index funds to ETFs. I have a bonus section on cryptocurrencies and kind of like the systems that I use to build my first 150K. So um, that is pretty much the course. But yeah, I'm still working on it right now. I think like things like investing or fitness are very important just because like those are once you take control of those things, like how often do you hear people like, I want to invest but I don't know how, or someone who wants to work, like, I want to work out but I just don't have the time. Imagine if you could take control of those like sort of things, where you always have this sort of self-doubt but you actually end up doing it. That's why fitness is such a great thing, because it's a physical transformation. You see somebody change, but not only their physical attributes but it's mental too. It takes a lot of discipline and stuff like that as well. But yeah, man, that's what I want to do. And I think what I really want to do is create kind of like personal development products, where maybe I'll teach like how to network with people or how to build real ass relationships with people. I have the money, I have like health and keto and stuff. So yeah, man, I just been thinking about that, and that's what I really want to do. Have you personally made more money from investing than being a pharmacist? I mean, like per year, no, I haven't. But the way I teach investing is how to build a system, you know? So it's not investing is not just a flip, like a flipping stocks and stuff. I teach people how to invest passively and whatnot. So, and create a system around it. So I show people how I made 300% um, with like my investments and stuff. My investment strategy is not any rocket science and stuff like that. But a lot of people don't know it, and a lot of people don't have the time to learn it. So like I've wrote free articles for people too, and I don't think it's that hard to look it up online. But still, having a formalized like course helps a lot of people, you know. But yeah, man, I think yeah, and I think like one of the reasons why I got so into investing, and one of the things that, like, if you go on Google and stuff and you can read my story about hitting an overdraft fee. I think that was the most important story for me. Like, basically, in short, I was in Hong Kong. I was fucking around too much. I caught an overdraft fee, and that point in my life, I was just like, fuck, man, like, if I don't change, I'm going to be screwed for the rest of my life, because I keep on like, I don't I don't know how to manage my money. So then I literally took all the books that like all the recommended books online. I read through them. Susie Orman. I've read Dave Ramsey. I've read Remy Sethi. I've read Get Rich Slowly. I've read all these different people for years and years and years, and and it helped having an uncle too, like who knew how to invest. I still talk to him about investing all the time, you know. But I think changing that script and knowing that, hey, I know, like, I actually know what I'm doing compared to half my other friends. You know, like, it's really scary. Like, I count all my friends who don't actively invest, and a lot of them don't know what the hell they're doing, and it's just like, damn, what the hell. But that's why sometimes it's not so much information. Like, people just keep on putting it off, putting off, and putting off. But I want to invest and be fun because honestly, it's been really fun. There's nothing better than watching your portfolio like shoot up like that. And as I invest more and more and more, I'm starting, like, have you ever seen those graphs on, like, those OG graphs of the exponential rate and stuff? I'm just starting to see it exponentially grow now. So that's always really cool. Good for you. How did you learn? Through my uncle, through reading and all that sort of stuff too. Not rocket science unless I'm doing. Dad, yeah. It's really not that hard though, you know? It's like part of it is understanding like portfolio balance, right? Part of it is understanding, oh, what to invest in. The riskier the investment, the greater reward, right? But the greater chance that you're gonna lose everything. I mean, I just lost a shit ton of money on one of my, like, investing in one of my stocks. Not a shit ton, but I was actually just playing around with this really risky one because I wanted some skin in the game and I wanted to learn about more about investing into individual stocks. Um, that company was like a pre or something. They're doing topical Viagra. Literally, there was rumors that it was going to get approved by FDA. Stocks kept on going up and up and up. At one point, I was up like almost, I think, up 60%. And then literally overnight, FDA cans it. They're like, no, denied. Stock just tanked overnight. But I think like, but at the same time, it could have went up to $8 per share, and I could have made a shit ton of money. But I think it's like really understanding, hey, you can't have all your money in one stock. Like, it's good to have bases in index funds. It's good to have sector ETFs. It's good to have some like cryptocurrency too. It's like good to have different diversify. And like, I know diversification is like one of the major things that everybody talks about, right? But like having multiple things is good. Invest in lending pharmacy student loans. Compound those interest like a hustler. What's your revenue model for a podcast product? My revenue model. Um, what do you mean my conversion for my email list? Basically, it's going to be released only to my email list and stuff. Lol at Daniel. But I'm expecting like a 1% conversion, so I should be making a good amount on it. But I really one thing that I need to work on my business is actually recruiting more people and like not recruiting people, but like getting more engaging content to drive them to my website and stuff like that. Because honestly, I just feel like my website is all over the place, and I definitely need to clean it up. But I've been actually following a lot of different other people who are similar, like doing the same thing that I'm doing, and who are just like 10 steps ahead of me. So I've been looking at different opt-in offers, like how to figure out your life, how to take control of your money, stuff like that, like things to entice people to sign up for my email list too. But yeah, it's basically email marketing. It's nothing too crazy, and it's like one of the reasons why I always started Refugee Hustle too. But yeah, I think also too, like, I've been reading a lot of business books again, um, and if you actually look on my YouTube banner too, I've uh, I've talked about, like, I've kind of did some rebranding toward Refugee Hustle because I was just like, man, I was just really thinking about like what I want Refugee Hustle to be because it's a strong branding. I understand what it is down in here because shit, I am a refugee hustler. Like, honestly, I come from a family who's worked really hard and hustled all the way from China and made it out here in America, and I want to do the 2.0 version, where I basically launch us into the next class, man. And so for me, it means a lot because I feel like you can take that refugee hustle and you can apply it to school if you want. You can apply it to a business if you want. There's so many things about the refugee hustle that I think, especially if you're coming from like an immigrant family or something, you understand the hustle that our parents give to us. They sacrifice everything just for us, and I really want to kind of honor that and bring that into the next generation. Then, oh, I mean, are you charging for subs or a particular product? Freemium gateway to personal coaching? No. I'm gonna be. It's a course, so I'm gonna be charging for the course. But yeah, so not charging for subs. I'm not doing like one of those email lists where I'm just like, hey, this stock today is doing blah blah blah. I signed up for a few of them. I actually paid for a few of them. They're like okay. I'd be very like I don't know, like I think it's cool to have research at your door, but sometimes like especially right now, I'm not working, so I don't want to be selling off my assets to go into riskier investments. Right now it's just like it's a good buying time, but I just want to like I don't want to throw off my portfolio and stuff. But yeah, are you doing ads or sponsors? Maybe through the podcast one day. Maybe the podcast I do every once in a while, like maybe I would consider ads or sponsors there. But like one thing I'm trying not to do is just like spread myself out too thin. And plus, another thing I don't want to do, Patreon. I don't think I'll ever. I don't think at this time I do not want to do Patreon because I just feel like everybody and the mom is like opening up a Patreon. If they open up a Patreon, that's cool. But for me, it's just like unless I can define like a definitive value for my Patreon, like you get X, Y, and Z for a subscription, like that's the only reason I would do it. But I can't think of anything. Like there's people who do Patreon. Hey, you get to go one-on-one subs with me if you're a part of my Patreon. But I just feel like for me, like I'm gonna create engaging content anyways. And so I rather not nickel and dime people for this sort of stuff. So yeah. But I mean, there's a million things you can do. Like I feel like uh, as a single, like as like someone who's working by myself, and maybe I need to assemble a team. But as a person who's working by myself, there's a million different things that you could do. But you only have 24 hours in a day, and at the end of the day, I'm like the cook, waiter, and cashier dude of my restaurant. So it gets there's a lot of stuff, and anybody who does any sort of content creation knows what I mean. It's not easy creating videos. It's not easy creating blog posts. It's not easy doing a lot of this stuff. But when you like day in day out, I love it. There's nothing, no better feeling than having that sense of accomplishment. So, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do paid advertisements. Maybe I'll do all that other stuff later down the line. But like I'm keeping everything very open, one thing at a time, and rather than thinking like 20 miles down the road. Where the hoes at, Kevin? Hose? What hose? What the hoe, man? No. But honestly, like, yeah, man, I just miss like being in LA and just having my friends again. Like, I miss it so much, and I miss like inviting people to my place just to kick it, just to hop on my podcast real quick. Like all that shit I miss so much, and it's just like I don't know, like I just don't want to be here anymore. So, question: how are pharmacists to combat advancing technology, pharmacy robots, pharmacy vending machine? Is the answer being your own boss? You moved? Mike, I just moved temporarily. Filming that, that's a very interesting question because I'm actually shooting my video on that like later this week. It's pharmacy residency protect me from automation. And I think like okay, that's a very complex question, and I'll probably answer in my video, so just stay tuned for that because there's so many things that goes into that question. You moved? Why I moved? I just like came back home. If you haven't watched any of my other videos, my dad actually passed away, and so I had to come back home and deal with all that sort of stuff. So that's a long story short. You can watch my other videos to find out the rest, but that's the long story short. But yeah, man. But I think like my YouTube channel is actually doing pretty well. Like I've noticed like pretty good growth over the last few even few days or like last weeks and stuff. Like I've been growing a little bit. I hope it starts growing a lot quicker, but I don't know. There's always like different videos I want to do and stuff, but I just feel like I don't have enough time to do it, you know? And maybe I'll have to make a decision one day and just be like, what do I want to do? Choose YouTube or do I want to choose blogging or just choose one, you know? But I think things that will I think once, like I said, once the product is done, once I have something in place and I get my life in order, like I think everything will be a lot smoother. I mean, I have no doubt I'm going to make it through everything, you know, no doubt about that. But I just feel like at this point I'm like in a rough spot where, you know, times are really tough, times are very uncertain for me, and I just don't feel like I'm at my best right now, you know. Hopefully, automation doesn't fully take over. Just about to start PharmD. What's the only major worth going to college for a BS degree? Is pharmacy worth it? Man, that's like I feel like that's like the trending topic half the time. And maybe I have to create a video about how to break that down because it's different for everyone. Like seriously, I like dude, for people like me, maybe pharmacy is not a good idea. But there's some people who don't mind clocking in, clocking out. They actually really enjoy it. Surprisingly, you know, like a lot of people just enjoy like the stability and they can't deal with the ups and downs of opening up their own business or doing like or maybe they really enjoy the interaction. You know, like I don't know. There's a lot of good things about pharmacy too. Like once you get to know your patients, they bring you cookies and shit, or they bring you like gifts, and you get to know them, right? But when it's bad, it can be really bad sometimes. So yeah. Green Tea says, "Hello, okay, Rocket Farm in the making." Green Tea. I see. Like honestly, like for automation, I think we really got to focus on. So I'll tell you the synopsis of automation in short. Basically, automation is really good for repetitive, mundane, routine tasks, right? And we basically, and one thing about automation too, which is really scary, is like AI. So machines are learning more complex tasks. They're learning to break down really complex tasks, like I don't know, diagnosing certain disease states and stuff, or like I don't know, like, think about it. They can fly airplanes nowadays by themselves. That's a pretty complex task. We can break it down into algorithms. The way we treat our patients is also through treatment algorithms and stuff. But one thing that robots can never do is really communicate to other humans in a compassionate way. And I think like we really have to think about the value that we give to people. We can't just be focused so much on dispensing, but we have to really think about okay, how can we provide services that can't be automated? So remember how I said mundane, repetitive tasks. We have to do things that are unpredictable and whatnot. But in my video, I even talk about the residencies that, like, if you decide to do residency, like the different career paths you can go down too. So, is stability really a plus these days? Honestly, Legend, I feel you, man. I don't even think stability is like I think stability is an illusion because anytime you can get fired, like if a company wants to get rid of you, they'll find a reason to get rid of you. You know, um, I don't think stability is like super valued in our societies too. Most people like they switch jobs really often now. Like you don't get people that stay with a company for 20 plus years. It's just not gonna happen anymore these days. Hey, Zero says, hey from Canada. Legend RX going to have to copyright that one. Oh man, I'm getting more and more people, man. That's awesome. Um, yeah, but how much are you making through passive income? Are I think you mean IRAs, Bitcoin, Vanguard stocks. It really depends, man. It depends how the market is doing. Through Bitcoin right now, it's like a real down market, so I'm not making that much money. In fact, like I'm this year, I think I'm still up at least like 50% because I bought Ethereum when it was at 200, bought most of my Litecoin at 60 something dollars. I bought Bitcoin when it was some at like 8,000, some at 5,000. So like for that sort of stuff, I'm up. I wouldn't really call that passive though because you don't get dividends or anything like that. Through like Vanguard and all that sort of stuff, you're not really looking at it really depends because there's this thing called compound interest. And the more money you have in the bank, the more your interest starts piling on top of each other, and that's how you get that exponential graph. So it's like it depends, dude. It's a really hard question to answer. Bitcoin is way down. The job market has rapidly changed for the worse. It's only going to get worse. Perhaps, maybe. I think part of the problem with automation too is like back in the past, like when we used to automate things, it used to create a lot more jobs, or create better jobs. Now, automation is just replacing current jobs and stuff, and it really sucks because, like the world is only getting more overpopulated, right? And we just really need to figure out a way to create our own wealth these days. And it's very hard, dude. It's like anybody that says starting business is easy or doing anything is easy, it's really not. You know, um, there's no such thing as easy money. You could con people, you could do certain things, but all the sustainable businesses I know, like I'm not talking about like 1 or 2 years on the come up, right? But everybody who like everybody I know, they put in hard, diligent work into the craft, and pay their dues. Philmon for pharmacy or overall economy. Are you unemployed right now? Well, yes, I am unemployed right now. Yeah. So, anyways, guys, I am probably going to close up my stream. Been streaming for almost an hour right now. But as always, thank you guys for tuning into my stream, my weekly stream, and I will talk to you guys later. Yep. Sad face Jorge Clooney. Overall economy, Everfield is feeling the pinch. The only one that will make it is the business owner and creative people. That's true. Um, Last thing before I go, I think Lake said something really important. And it's just like, um, for y'all that don't know, Lake is Nova Patra's husband and stuff. And he was even saying, like, the new wealth these days is social media following, creative people, business. And that's why I decided to take the leap of faith into business, just to create another asset for myself. Thank you, Kevin. See you in the LA next stream. Yes, by the way, this is my last stream, so no more Doraemon in the back. No more of this old ass like gumball machine and all this shit. I'm gonna be in LA, so hopefully I'll get some good vitamin D, and I'll have some good in and out. I'll start doing Muay Thai and start my new life, and I can't wait. I'm just like so done with this. All right, guys. As always, love you guys. Take care. Peace to coast. Bye, mother people. California bound.